boys and girls. It is Wednesday, March 25th, 2020. I hope you have enjoyed playing out in the snow, which looks like it's still out there for a little while. We're going to continue with Joey Pigza, Swallowed the Key by Jack Gantos. We are about to start chapter 11, Shifting Gears. At the end of chapter 10, Special Ed Vaness, asked Joey a question about him getting serious, about getting his act together, and he asked, "What if I told you your home life was part of the problem?" Did you think about that? What that might mean? What goes on in Joey's home that could be part of Joey's problem? We know he's wired, he was built that way, but are there any things at home that could help him? So chapter 11 is called Shifting Gears. And you might have thought about, what does that mean to shift gears? Well, in a car or some kind of vehicle, you can shift gears. But what does it mean for a human? It kind of means changing your path, changing your direction, right? Chapter 11. I was bouncing an orange Nerf ball against the front door as I sat on the porch. I did it over and over and over for about an hour. I wasn't locked out. I was just waiting for Mom. When I saw her turn the corner on Queen Street, about 5 houses down, I just kept throwing the ball harder and harder until she started up the sidewalk. Then I turned and let it all out. "He said you were part of the big picture problem," I shouted. "I said I cut Maria's nose off, not you." And he said this was not all about Maria's nose. This was about how I make decisions. I told him I had dud meds and he wanted to know what doctors you had taken me to. I told him I didn't know and that you rescued me for Grandma, and he said special ed was going to help me get better. What does all that mean? "Calm down, you don't have to shout. And stop picking at your head," she said, and glanced over her shoulder to see if the neighbors were listening. "Let's go inside and take some medicine and talk about it. And who is he, anyway?" "Special ed," I replied. "Oh yeah, the guy with 2 names," she muttered. We went into the house and I kept talking, but Mom didn't listen. "This place is a mess," she said, and shook her head. "What have you been doing?" "I was flipping out," I said. "The bus driver called me a foster kid and thought they had taken you away because of what I had done to Maria. I called you at work, but you wouldn't come to the phone. So I kept calling, but Tiffany said you were unavailable, and I thought they arrested you instead of me. Then later, I thought you got sick of me and ran off again. And I told that to special ed, and he said that my home life was a big part of my problem." "You told me you were not going to tear the house apart looking for your meds, Joey," she said. "I had a bad day," I said. "We all have bad days," she replied. "You just have to deal with them." Mom reached into her purse and took out the plastic vial of medicine for me. She shook 1 pill onto her hand. "You didn't leave a number where you could be reached. Otherwise, I would have called you back." She slipped half a pill between my lips. After I swallowed, I went to the refrigerator to get her the Mountain Dew as she pulled the amaretto out from under the sink. She mixed herself a drink and I dropped the red cherry in it. "So, he said I'm to blame?" she asked after a minute. "He wanted to know how I felt after you abandoned me." "I left you with your grandmother." "She was mean," I said, "and I told that to special ed too." "What else did you tell him?" "About Dad and about our days, from when I wake up to when I go to bed. Everything." "Did you tell them that I love you and I go to work every day at the beauty parlor and listen to everyone talk about their perfect kids and how sick that makes me? Because for one, I don't believe their kids are perfect because no one is. And 2, they pretend their kids are perfect so they can look down at kids like you and parents like me." She stood up and made another amaretto sour. "If you have 2 drinks, does that mean I can have 2 meds?" "No, it does not. And I wish you wouldn't go around telling strangers what we do at home. Special ed says he's here to help me and that things would get worse before they'd get better." "He's right on that score," she said. "Darn right. You can tell him things might get worse for him, too." And she drank that drink down like it was water and mixed another one while I just stared at her. No, don't tell him that, she said, calming down. It was a bad day for me, too. I thought about you at work all day, and I was worried about you. And the more I thought about you, what you would tell them about us, the more embarrassed I was. I came back for you, but just coming back isn't good enough. It's not just about having a roof over our heads. It's about what is in our heads. Do you get what I'm saying, Joey? Yeah, I said. I spoke with the diet lady today, and she said I didn't eat the right foods for my body. Now, what did you tell her? Mom asked, and she lost her cool again. Well, that I like chocolate, donut holes, and tater tots and nachos, and that you never make me eat what I don't like. And what's wrong with that? She said I need vegetables and salads and grains, and asked if I take vitamins. I told her I eat a Reese's peanut butter cup every morning because you said peanut butter is good for me. I need another drink, she said. Special ed asked me if you drink, I said. She whipped around with the amaretto bottle in her hand. And what did you tell him? That you drink, I said. You do. I pointed at the bottle in her hand. See? And special ed said that if I didn't tell the truth, then I wouldn't get better. Well, I spoke with Mr. Vaness today, she said, and mixed the drink. It's the same guy, I said. He's special ed. I know, she said. He called me after you left his office. What did he say? I'm not telling, she said. That is one difference between you and me. I know how to keep my mouth shut. I can't help it if I talk too much, I said. Try, she said. Try not drinking, I said. Oh. Why is it that one of us has to be right and one of us has to be wrong, she asked. Why does it always come down to that? Don't ask me why, I said, and pushed my fingers in my ears to not hear the word. She pulled my hands away. Sometimes you really get under my skin, she said. Sometimes I think it was easier chasing after your dad than it is chasing after you. Ooh, how do you think that made Joey feel coming from his mom? But you love me more, I said. You said so yourself. You are such an imp, she growled. I just smiled my big smile, the one where my eyes close up and I can't see anything but the inside of my face, which is like wearing a great big Halloween yellow smiley face mask. Come on, she said. Let's be bad for another day and order a pizza. Can we get vegetables on it? I asked. I promised I'd eat more vegetables. Yeah, like what? Mushrooms, green peppers, onions? Don't forget the salad. Get real, she said. They don't make salad pizza. Salad is the opposite of pizza. Salad is for rabbits, and pizza is for people who love cheese and sausage and pepperoni, and that happens to be us. In the morning, I was sitting on the porch eating a slice of leftover extra cheese and vegetable pizza and waiting for the bus when Mrs. Maxey pulled up in her car and waved to me. And she was smiling, too, which was a good thing, or I would have turned right around and dashed into the house and locked the door. Mrs. Maxey is Joey's teacher. When she got out of her car, she was carrying a brown paper bag in her purse. How's it going? She asked as she climbed the steps. Pretty good, I said. Now that I'm eating more vegetables, want a bite? No thanks, she replied and shook her head at me just like my mom does. We've all been thinking of you. That made me feel a lot better than the pizza. I think of you too, I replied. And I'll be back. I told you I would. Well, keep making progress and I'm sure you will. I got up my courage to ask the next question. How's Maria? I asked. I went to her house to say I was sorry and her dad chased me away. Maria is no longer at our school, Mrs. Maxey said. Her family put her in a Catholic school. We have Catholic schools from Catholic churches. We have kids from Catholic school in special ed, I said. They still wear their uniforms. I know, said Mrs. Maxey. We told her parents that the accident could have happened anywhere, but they were very concerned for Maria. I still feel real bad about what happened, I said. We all do, Joey, Mrs. Maxey said. But we have to get over it and move on. Now let me show you what I've brought. She removed a folder from the bag and showed me my math, English, geography, history, and science lessons. Do these here with your mom, and you can keep up with your classes for the next few weeks. I'll keep bringing your homework, so when they send you back, you won't be too far behind, okay? Does this mean they are sending me back in 6 weeks, I asked. That is up to someone else, she said. But Mr. Van Ness called and asked me to keep up with your assignments. So if and when you do come back, you can jump right in. Then, before she left, I said, I'm sorry. I know you are, Joey. We all are. But we can stop being sorry now. It's time to shift gears and make sure it doesn't happen again. Okay? Guessing that's where the title of the chapter came from. I'm sorry, I said again. I held my arms out for a hug and she gave me one. And it was really good. And when I let go of her, I said, I'm shifting gears and making certain it won't happen again. Good, she said. Very good. And she reached into her teacher bag and pulled out a strip of sticky gold stars. She peeled one off and pressed it onto my forehead. This, she said, is for shifting gears. I carefully touched the star and I felt the 5 gold points, one for each subject. My mom says when I'm better, I can get a dog. That would be very nice, she said. I have to run. You know how the class gets when I'm not there on time. I remembered. She turned and walked down the steps, and I could see pizza sauce on the back of her dress where I had put my hands during our hug. Mrs. Maxey, I hollered and waved the pizza in the air. I already packed a lunch, she called back before I could tell her about the handprints. Thanks. As soon as she left, I wiped my hands on my pants and dumped all the stuff she brought me inside the house. In a few minutes, the special ed bus pulled up. I got on and Charlie was waiting for me. Sit here, he said, and gave me a head nod, just like yesterday. Want some pizza? I asked. Sure, he said, and I held it up to his mouth, and he took a bite. Be careful, I said. It's a little messy. Do you think Joey's feeling more comfortable with Charlie? And if you said yes, why? Because he shared his pizza with him. I think we're going to leave off there for today. I will upload this and get this to you, and we will finish chapter 11 tomorrow. Bye, boys and girls. Have a good afternoon, and we'll see you soon. And, happy birthday, Vic. Today's Vic's 10th birthday. Bye.